Friends, how are you doing? Wow, we made some money today. Congratulations to everyone that hung in there with Big Bear this last 24 hours. I mean, really, this started kind of Thursday into Friday, especially last week, and then today was pretty much like the big pop that we had here. So let's break it down. Let's talk about what's happening here. Can this be pushed more? Where is Big Bear going from this moment forward? And I think this was great. This is a great day. Once again, sorry for the weird setup here. I'm out of town and I am doing a video in a random house room thing right now. So, but nonetheless, I was watching the stock market like a hawk today. Made great money. Sold a little bit of Big Bear in another position today. So let's go right into it here. What happened? So today with Big Bear, we had the setup was happening with Big Bear 100%. So yesterday, let's go back Friday so we can really back this up right now. So Friday, Big Bear ends at this very good stage. You know, it was a rough day last Friday, but Big Bear ended around $4. Okay, so that was indication that we were going to start this week probably at somewhere around a $4 range. Well, we did. Yesterday, Big Bear had a very up and down day. But all in all, towards the end of the day yesterday, Big Bear made a huge setup going into what would be today. So why yesterday, I said like, hey, yesterday when I talked, I said, hey, I think we are about to be slingshot into some pretty big numbers here. And sure enough, this is kind of what's happened here recently. Big Bear ended the day right around 525 today. We'll just round it up here. So big day for Big Bear, a lot of money. I mean, that's more than $1 essentially, than a little over $1 from where we ended yesterday. So Big Bear has had this 1, 2, 3 walk up, and then where you see where I have time and then 4 at the top. So this is our fourth shelf. This is the fourth shelf that we've been talking about and we've been looking for here. It's finally showed up, and this took some time. This took, from the end of May to all of June here, essentially, to get this going. This took a lot of time, and right in the middle of this, you got these two horns, these devil horns, essentially, and they took up a lot of time. But today, we had essentially just an organic push up with Big Bear. Now, obviously, the question is, where does Big Bear go from here? Now, obviously, Big Bear is in this whole conversation right now of where can their future go? And there's a lot of positive, there's a lot of negative. The positive of what I'm seeing right now with Big Bear, obviously, it's in this, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but obviously, just the fine newts of what's going on right now is that Big Bear is very wrapped up in this gossip, this of more could happen with it. It could get more government contracts. Obviously, it could. We're halfway in the year. It could still get a lot more could happen here. It's wrapped up in these defense contracts. Defense is a huge topic right now in the market with AI. Big Bear, bam, bam. Defense and AI. It's everything right there at a very affordable price range for any investor for a number amount of shares. So Big Bear it has had this organic push into $5. Now this is essentially this isn't new news. Big Bear has been undervalued. Big Bear should at least be somewhere in this $5, $6, $7 range. Just standard at this point. Okay, now obviously there's going to be people in here that are saying that Big Bear is trash, all this stuff. Listen, for the majority of us that are in here looking at Big Bear, we're not focused on the last 6 years of Big Bear. We're focused on the last 6 months, almost 8 months at this point, because all these government contracts, they started pretty much in November of 2024, November, October. I'm a little fuzzy on the time right now, but somewhere in that time zone. So, all the defense contracts, the partnerships that have happened, the quarterlies rising here. Will they hit 200 million in revenue this year? Possibly, maybe. Still need more deals. Still need to, rack up some more money here. But nonetheless, this is going to be what Big Bear's going to do. It's going to keep walking. Now, obviously this year already in February, Big Bear had this huge swing up to $10 and some change. Now we find ourselves, we've moved back up from this hardship, the tariff situation hitting us in April. Then we had 1 push, 2 push, 3 push, staircase there. And then we had this long length of time here from the end of May to now, June. And now we've built this fourth staircase into $5.25. Now, I do believe it's only Tuesday, so if you are swing trading Big Bear right now, this could be, or trying to compound position in Big Bear right now, this could be a very good position for you right now, because there's still a lot of time left in the market this week. So and that's why this is so interesting that it's happened so early in the week here, where I know day traders look at this and they're just drooling right now, because Big Bear has already had a push yesterday. Big Bear had a super push today. I mean, this was a super push we saw. Now, we've still got Wednesday, we've still got Thursday, and we've still got Friday here in the market, okay? Now, I still think that Big Bear more than likely, I don't, we'll see what tomorrow brings, but there's still a lot of time left in the market here to where Big Bear can fall back down or keep rising a little bit. But here's the thing with Big Bear. I would tell you, don't get yourself stuck in a position with Big Bear, because Big Bear still needs to prove a lot of things here for it to keep going up. And I don't say that to be mean whatsoever. Listen, if you know me, I've been here preaching about Big Bear and speaking, putting my neck out there with it, because I believe it's going to have a better year. I believe it's going to do something here better for investors. But I do want to bring, a double-edged sword to the conversation here and say, listen, I would not be shocked to see Big Bear fall towards the end of the week. Maybe we'll see what tomorrow brings. What is the aroma going to be tomorrow in the market? We'll see. Today, the whole market was doing great. I mean, the whole market was pushing today. Big Bear just had one of the biggest pushes. But I would not be surprised to see Big Bear falter back down to a 430, 460 range here pretty easy. But that's still really good. That's a great place, because, that's new ground, that's new territory. So if Big Bear can get into this position where obviously lose this $5 position that we're at right now, falter back down to, a 430, 420, push right back in, buy back in, and then we start trailing back up into this high $4 range, back into a low 5, man, that's how you start compounding position. That's how you really start making money in the market. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Now, if Big Bear goes up from here on out, okay, great. We'll see what happens. We'll follow it here. But I do want to say this, Big Bear, it needs more. It needs more money. It needs better quarterlies, or it needs to be a part of some huge deal. And this has been my whole rhetoric that I've been, yapping my mouth about here. I'm very positive on Big Bear, 100%. But I am not living in la la land or being naive to the fact that Big Bear needs to continue to push into deals. It needs to, if it's going to get some huge government contract with all this stuff going on with Trump, it needs to happen fast. Right now, Palantir is the golden child right now. I mean, Palantir can do no wrong. I mean, obviously, if you're in Palantir, you're going to keep making money. If you put $5 in it, you're going to get $10 out of it here, not before long. If you put $100 in it, you're going to get a lot more, hundreds of dollars out of it here. So Palantir is going to keep going up here, but Big Bear is still in this pocket of where it's very affordable to investors. It's got crazy movement on it, and I would not be shocked to see Big Bear to continue to have this new flow of mid $4 range to low $5 range here. So this could be some really, really good ground here, and if we play around this ballpark here, I think this is great. I think this is great. I think a lot of us made a lot of money today. I'll be quite honest with you. There's a huge position that my play around position with Big Bear that I sold out of today. I sold out of that around I think it was, I sold early. I sold at I think I sold it at $4.97, and I figured it was going to $5, but I was like, just what? And sure enough, it did here. But still holding other positions in there, and then that position that I sold, I'll buy back in when we see what the new bottom's going to be. So essentially, listen, if you're in that short-term conversation, now if you're in Big Bear for long-term, which I am too, I'm working this every single way I can here. Long-term, Absolutely. I feel good about Big Bear. 100%. Like the contracts I've talked about, if Big Bear can continue to push in these contracts, and right now Big Bear has found itself in this special time in the market where it is, Trump is president. What is Trump spending money on? Defense. It doesn't matter if this whole Ukraine Israel situation continues. It doesn't matter. Trump is still spending tons of money. The money that we want him to spend, he's still spending it. The Golden Dome, technology, defense, it's all one conglomerate. He's spending the money. And that's one reason Palantir just went into this whole new realm of finance here. But Big Bear, I do believe they can push into that more, and I think investors, they're onto it 100%. They're onto it. So this was just a great push today. A great push. We will see where it goes from here. Like I said, friends, if you're buying in Big Bear, listen, be careful. Okay, don't get ahead of yourself. We've got time here. I would be willing to say here, we've got time. Big Bear's still playing around and seeing what's going on here. I think that Big Bear is going to offer investors a lot of wiggle room. Okay, listen, Big Bear went to $10 in February, then had a dramatic sell-off down back to $2. So if you've been riding it since then, buying, selling, trading. I mean, I know a couple people in my personal life that have made ungodly amounts of money on Big Bear just from trading it back and forth every week. I mean, like, unbelievable. So friends, I've got one more day and I'll be home here, and I will get back to my long videos to annoy people here. But listen, I think we had a great week in the market. This was fantastic. This was amazing. It's so great just to follow the lead, have patience, and enjoy the wealth of what the market's going to bring here. I mean, listen, if you're in the market, you have found an avenue in life that not a lot of people know about, and not a lot of people want to take even the slightest time to learn about. It's called the stock market. This man or woman, doesn't matter. Man, woman, doesn't matter. Age, thing, whatsoever. You can change your life for yourself, for your family, for your children, whatever it be. Man, woman, what age, doesn't matter. Okay, doesn't matter. You can do this. Friends, I wish everyone the best of luck. I really do mean that. I think I'm really curious to see where the rest of the market's going to go this week. I would suspect by Friday we'll have a huge sell-off because the market's been moving so hot here. But yeah, 3 more days. Let's watch what happens. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.